You're the best. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Jim. Very nice. It's a pleasure to be back. I've actually spoken to Rose about 100 years ago. How many of you were there? A few, yeah, good. And it's good to be back. It's so gratifying, and I'm so proud of you. So much growth for the company, and you guys are a true success story. And I know that we're framing up even more success, and that's why we're here today. We want to address you as the next big thing, the next generation of leaders, and we are not underrating our expectations of you, and we want to give you every chance to be successful. And even more to the point, we want what you learn here today to be transferable, so that anything I tell you today, you can take back and teach other people. Wouldn't that be cool? Like the gift that keeps on giving. That's the idea. So Jim's right. I'm going to break it down. We're going to talk about basic stuff, but I'm going to try to get inside your head in a way maybe that you haven't thought about it before, so that you can relay this information to the people that will be replacing you as you move up and out or wherever you go. So we love you and we want you to be successful, and that's the whole thing today. Something that Jim did not tell you about my career is that I have now done this kind of thing in addition to teaching high school students. I've spoken on 5 continents and in 49 states, corporations in every industry, every business sector, nonprofit, healthcare, manufacturing, not all of them, but a lot of the Fortune 500 companies. And published about it extensively. So I know some stuff. I don't know that I'm going to be your cup of tea. I have a certain style you're going to get used to in the next few minutes. I like to use a lot of humor. I don't do talking head. I have no PowerPoint today. You're welcome. and I like to exchange. I'll be talking with you and not at you today. So I hope you like that. That's kind of my style. And to get started, I have a funny story, because you just heard about P&Ls. I figure you're in the mood for a funny story. Raise your hand if you like a funny story. So this guy, and I liked your segment, Rose. This guy goes to a fortune teller. It's not his thing, but it's time. He's unhappy at work. He's only moderately happy at home. And he goes to the fortune. He's 49 years old, and he's just wondering, is there anything else for me in this life? And he needs an answer, and he goes to the only person that might be able to give him an answer. It's a fortune teller. And he sits across from this nice lady, and she takes his palm, and she reads his palm. It takes a few minutes. She's making some noises, making some faces, and he says, well, what's going on? What's going on? And she says, well, I see you as unhappy at work and only moderately happy at home until age 49. And then he said, and then what? And then what? And then she said, and then you'll get used to it. I love that story because it's kind of like how it works in leadership and family and so many things. I just got back from speaking in Tennessee not too long ago, and it reminds me of a thing they'd say down south. We get used to that routine, groove, rut. Because it's always a routine, then it's a groove, and then it's a rut. And the deeper you go, the harder it is to get out of it. And this is what life is, ladies and gentlemen. It's habit, right? Aristotle said, we are what we do. And what we do are these habits that we have, these routines. Routines, then grooves, and then they become ruts. And the reason we spend all this time and energy getting you to events like this is we want to pull you out of it, man. Maybe you can't help yourself because it's human nature to develop habits. And it's human nature. We sometimes don't even recognize what's not working for us anymore. And that's true in a lot of things. Leadership, relationships, even health. By the way, pretty good lunch, huh? I mean, yeah, it was like a real barbecue. And I've eaten a lot of hotel food. It was pretty good. So if we can't help ourselves, maybe we can help each other. Maybe a day like this is a good time. Stop the clock. Stop thinking about all the crap you got going back at the office or back at home, and stay with me here for a couple of hours while we get inside a little bit and try to rearrange the furniture and see how you feel about it. That's all we're suggesting. Let's not have it be the same after you go to the damn training. Let's make it better after you go to the training. You with me? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, it sounds like a pretty good idea. Let's see if you're up to it. First thing I'm going to do is change the title of your program. I know it's getting late in the day, but you all have an agenda in front of you, and the agenda is written with a title for this segment. Can somebody read it out loudly so everybody can hear? What does it say there by my name? What does that say?
Supervisory skill set to consider.
Yeah, supervisory skill sets to consider. I want you to cross that out. I want you to write this in, because I have expectations for today, right? We're going to call this segment Getting People to Do Stuff. Getting people to do stuff. Because if you learn nothing from me this afternoon, I want you to go back with some techniques that actually motivate your team to do what they're supposed to do. Now, you might ask a basic question. You're paying them to do it. Why aren't they doing it? Let's hear some excuses. What do you hear from your people? I don't have enough time. Good. What else? Sorry? I like to do it my way. I know the company wants me to do it this way. I like to do it my way. What else?
I was never taught.
I was never taught how to do it right. You should have taught me if you really wanted, done right. Why didn't you say so, What's another reason? It's not my job to do it that way, or it's not my job at all. Why are you asking me to do that? Not even in my job description. What else?
Not going to work.
Not going to work that way. Everybody knows it doesn't work that way. I'm going to resist. I'm not getting paid enough to do it. We heard it all, man, right? My favorite excuse of all is I had a bone in my leg. Which is technically true. He probably had a bone in his leg. Another one that I like is and this is always in the top 10. If you Google why people don't do their stuff, this is always in the top 10. They don't care about it in the same way you care about it. Now that's an interesting one to me, because they're on your team, allegedly charged with rowing at the same time, in the same direction, and they don't care enough to do it. Fascinated. How did that even happen, man? But some of you are nodding your head yes, like you experienced this, so I'm with you. So let's talk about how all this works. I want you to write down a term that you might not have thought was going to happen today, but it's all over my presentation. It's all over motivation. It's all over leadership. I don't care about how you spell it. Just write it so you can read it later. And the word is psychology. We teach people what to do, but a lot of times we don't teach them why they should do it, and more importantly, we don't teach them in a way that they appreciate, because everybody thinks differently about this stuff. Psychology is about understanding the other person's point of view and how you can say it in a way that might appeal to them and you'd actually have some success with them. This is a science. People go to school for psychology degrees, and they get initials after their name, and I'm going to teach you how to do it before 4 o'clock. Because there are some fundamentals. And we give up on the fundamentals. We give up on psychology for lots of reasons. Time is a big one. We also have a policy and procedure manual, and we just point to that. Just do it. Another one is there are a lot of guys in the room. Guys are not famous. Forgive me, it's true. Guys are not famous for over-communicating. So we just figure, I just tell you generally how to do it, and you're going to get resourceful and figure it out. And we all know there's often a breakdown to that success formula. So these are the kinds of things that we're talking about today. I want you to write this down too, just at the beginning. It sounds harsh, but if I can just get your attention right now, I know I'll have you till 4 o'clock. Write this down. It's one of my favorite sayings of all time. I wish I could remember who said it. I've tried to Google it. Here you go. There are 2 kinds of pain for leaders. 2 kinds of pain. The pain of discipline and the pain of regret. Choose one. So, you're at a little fork in the road here at 1:10 on Thursday, right? You can choose to get serious about this and apply yourself and actually leave a positive mark at this company, maybe even in the industry, creating a personal brand for yourself where you are undeniably, irresistibly employable. or you can regret that you had the chance to do it and missed it the rest of your life. And I am not overstating this. This is where heroes are made, and this is where destinies are crafted in days like today, afternoon sessions like this. Turning point, seminal moment if you want it to be, and if you don't, I still get paid. And you know, statistically, 65 people here today, about. All of you are not going to grab my message today. I'm going to fail miserably with a percentage of you. It happens in every classroom. I'm just pulling for you. I'm not going to get all of you today, but I hope I get you. So engage with me and let's talk and let's have some fun. Okay, so let's talk about men and women for a minute, because that's a psychology thing. That's a I know that there's a lot of talk on social media about all of us being the same. Men are not the same as women. Old people are not the same as young people. Sagittarius are different than Libras. We're all different. Everybody on your team is different, right? Even though the policy and procedure manual, very well crafted by the way, says treat everybody the same, I am here to tell you, everyone does not want to be treated the same. Now what are you going to do? Are you going to honor the procedure manual, or are you going to do the right thing by your people and really truly motivate them? What do you think?
I was going to say it's discipline or regret.
It is. And there's gray area. You know, life is interesting. There is gray area. You can honor the procedure manual and still treat people differently. Raise your hand if you agree with that premise. Of course you can. Lazy managers don't bother with treating people differently.